Kia ora, and welcome as we continue our journey through the decades as we celebrate 75 years of Age Concern in Auckland. And we've now got up to the 1960s. And what's important about the 1960s for Age Concern and for older people across Auckland and New Zealand? Well, first off, we saw the peak of the baby boom. We saw that hope from the 1950s become the prosperity of the 1960s, when New Zealand had one of the strongest economies in the world, and the New Zealand citizens were better off than ever before. All the way up through until the late 60s, when we saw the crash in the wool prices and the recession hit and things began to change. But it wasn't all plain sailing through the 60s. We started off in 1962 with the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the world teetered on the brink of nuclear war. And we went through to the Vietnam War, where New Zealanders, for the first time since World War II, were sent overseas to fight. And that created the movement of counterculture around the world and here in New Zealand. It was a time when people took to the streets to protest against what was happening. It was a time when people embraced the new cultures of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. It was a time of mods and rockers, and it was a time when people said, "You need to listen to our voices. We need to be heard." It was also a time of tragedy. It was a time when we had the Wahine disaster in Wellington Harbour, still New Zealand's worst maritime disaster of all time. Other things happened that changed New Zealand's way of life forever. The 1960s was also a time of unparalleled technological change. In New Zealand, we saw the launch of television, when people gathered around that TV screen of an evening to watch the broadcasts live in their living rooms. And we finished the decade with the moon landings, possibly the greatest technological shift that we've ever seen. And technology hasn't stopped changing since. And even today, we are seeing technology change at a rate that is almost impossible for anyone to keep up with. And it can be particularly challenging for older people. Many older people adjust very well to the new technologies that have come around. And we know that there are many older people who are quite happy using computers, using the internet, using mobile phones, using tablets. But we know that there are many, a significant minority, who struggle, who find it very difficult to use the modern technologies, either because they don't have access, they don't have the knowledge, or they don't have the confidence. And one of the things that we do here at Age Concern Auckland is we help. We help older people understand how important it is to use modern technology, how to use it, and how to use it safely. Whether or not that's using it to stay in contact with friends and family overseas, and that important aspect of social connection, or whether it's ensuring they can do their banking online safely and free from being tracked by scams and fraud. We have workshops, we have courses, we have information to help people make that change. Part of that means that we have just a course where people can come in and learn half a day. For those who want a little bit more, we have courses that we run in Chinese and Korean and Japanese for people who want to learn over 8 weeks exactly how they want to use technology. And for us, we need to ensure that we can fund these things. And the 1960s saw the start of what became the New Zealand Lotto. Back then it was the golden Kiwi ticket. That ran all the way through the 60s before it was replaced by the Lotto that we know today. And Age Concern Auckland, we still benefit from the generosity of people and the generosity that we receive through philanthropic organisations such as Lotto. We receive maybe 50% of the money that we need to run those vital services from government contracts and from contracts from other organisations for services that we provide to older people. But that means we are always, every year, having to find 50% of what we need from the generosity of the New Zealand people, either from philanthropic trusts, foundations, or directly from the community and from individuals who make up that community. So I want to leave you with this one important message. If you want to help Age Concern and you want to help older people in our community, please remember we need your support. We can't do it without you. And even the smallest act of generosity can make the world of difference to an older person in need. With that, I'll leave you for now, and I look forward to talking you through the 1970s very soon. Thank you.